Hello everyone, today we will take a look at the new MiniArt kit 8.5 cm Starngeschütz auf Fahrgestell T34 Jagdpanzer SU-85R with crew. It's captured SU-85 with the crew, the kit number 35229. As you see, this is a kit without interior, and the box contain 627 plastic part, and the total amount of part is 712. So as you see, despite this kit don't have interior, it's really complex and have a lot of parts. The box is typical for MiniArt, with some pictures of the vehicle on the sides and with the paint schemes. So let's take a look what's inside the box. As you see, there's an instruction, typical for MiniArt, colorful book with some nice paint schemes here. Very interesting in my opinion. And the drawings of the assembly. We'll take a look closer later on the instruction. And the plastic parts, they comes in two bags. I opened it earlier, the main bag, and this is the other. MiniArt don't pack their products or sprue separately, but overall they are well protected, and I didn't have a problem with parts. They are not bended or broken, so for me it's fine. The clear parts, big decal sheet, and the PE. The PE with the grill and other minor parts. Okay, now let's see the instruction, and after I will show you all the sprues. As you see, the instruction is a big colorful booklet with information about the kit and the feature. On the first page, the part counting 75 P parts, 10 clear parts, 5 figures include. All hatches can be post open or closed. Decal sheet for 6 variants. There is a first and the second paint scheme. Second company, Jagdpanzer 185, Romania, summer 1944. Really interesting paint scheme. And the second one, Division Gross Deutschland, Romania, spring 1944. And the third, almost the same like the first. Second company, Panzerabteilung 128, Romania, summer 1944. Next we have a sprue map. A lot of sprues here, and again MiniArt continue their practice with a lot of small sprue parts, a lot of small sprues. And the first step with some floor assembly and the sides. As you see, despite this is a kit without interior, MiniArt provide a lot of interior parts, so you can easily open all hatches, leave all hatches opened. The front plate assembly and the lower hull assembly, swing arms, the gun mantlet and the gun bridge, wheels, engine plate, if you ever assembled the previously released MiniArt SU-85 or SU-122, you will be at home. So you know, almost all parts are the same like in previous released kit. To be honest, only the pine frames are different. The track assembly and the gun, as you can see, it's one part. Some details on the fenders and the rear plate assembly, and the last page, the external fuel tanks and some P straps. It is interesting that MiniArt provided the external fuel tanks for this kit, because Russian vehicles, when go to fight, the fuel tanks was removed. So if it is a abandoned captured vehicle, so you know it probably go to fight without external fuel tanks. But on the other side, it's good that MiniArt provide them. What's next? The pine scheme for the figures, 5 crewmen, as you see. And the last page and the last one, pine scheme, 6th Panzer Division, Czechoslovakia, Spring 1945. What's more, I forgot to tell you that the instruction contains a paint callout for Ammo Mic, Humbrol, Mr. Color, Testors and Vallejo. And I also forget to show you two pine schemes. The unidentified unit of the Wehrmacht, 1944-45, with the flag of swastika. And the second one, 12th Panzer Division, Karland Pocket, February 1945. Interesting pine scheme with the German yellow, Dunkelgelb, and original Russian green. And this is the first sprue. The sprue B, as you see, is quite large, with some main parts of the vehicle, the side walls of the lower hull, and the lower hull plate, the upper hull main part, and other minor parts like some hatches and something like this one, the access hatch. Here is a floor access hatch also. And what's important, on the kit there are two styles of the engine cover grill, one with molded on mesh, and the second one is prepared for the PE part. As you see, the molding quality is really nice. All rivets and bolts are really well made. Also all internal details are pretty fine, and what's important, there is no injection pin mark there and there. The next sprue, CA, with the fenders, the rear plate, some engine deck parts, the toolboxes on the fenders, and some sponsons. It is also a sprue from the previous released kit, and it's also looking really good. Sprue HA with the gun parts, like the gun bridge, the gun covers. As you can see, when you leave the hatch open, the interior will be crowded enough to do it. Some hatches and the gun mantlet with pretty cool texture on it. Now you can see the main gun barrel, molded as one part, pretty cool. Only two point of the connection with the sprue, easy to clean up, so this kit doesn't require a metal barrel replacement. Some tools. As you can see, some parts are really small, like this. And the next sprue, really long, sprue J. And this sprue contains front glacis plate with pretty cool details on it. Some weld marks, really well made. The roof of the vehicle, and again pretty cool cast texture on it, and sidewalls of the fighting compartment. The sprue EA, there are two sprues like this on the box, with some minor parts, details like the springs for the suspension. Again, pretty well made part, in my opinion. The torsion bar, the swing arm, idler wheel, and some other minor parts. And again, really small parts, but really clean and sharp molded, to be honest. There is no any sink marks, injection pin marks or something like this. Pretty cool. The sprue AC, there are also two sprues like this on the box, and it's really small and contain only 3 parts. The armored cover for the exhaust with some nicely molded bolts, and the 2-part idler wheel, also really well made. Sprue FG, on the box there are 10 sprues like this, and this sprue contains the parts to the build the one road wheel. As you can see, it's really well and nice detailed. And this is the first place when I see some flash, but it is easy to remove. The bolt details and the details on the rubber tires are really nicely done. And the next sprue JB, with 3 parts on it. The part for the connection upper and lower plate, and the gun mantlet part with, again, cool looking texture. Sprue DA with the exhausts, they need to be cut off here. But they, as you see, they are hollowed and have some nice weld details. Sprue AA, there are 2 sprues like this, and it contains some tiny parts like bolts, periscope covers, and the tow cable. And in my opinion, the tow cable is the weakest point of this kit, to be honest. In my opinion, it should be replaced with some copper wire or something like this. MiniArt provided the plastic part. It is right that it has some nice texture on it, but to be honest, this kit deserves for some better tow cable than this one. The tiny sprue FD with some grab handles on the side of the vehicle. The parts are really fragile, and it will be hard to remove them from the sprue. In my opinion, much easier and faster will be made this grab handles from the wire and placed on the model. They are really fragile and easy to damage while cutting off from the sprue. Sprue F, on the box we find 10 sprues like this. This sprue contain some minor details like the spring, the parts for the swing arms, ice clits, and what's more, some hubs for the wheels. As you see, there are 2 types of it, and the mounting for the external fuel tank. Sprue FK with the sponsons, again some suspension parts, and the external fuel tank. The tracks, as you see, the tracks in this kit are single pieces, single links, and they should be glued together and put on the wheels, something like Dragon Magic tracks. There are 2 types of the links, with the guide horn on the sprue and without. They are molded really well, the texture are well made, There are no injection pin marks on them, and it is really cool thing that we know waste the time to remove the injection pin marks, like in the magic tracks from Dragon, for example. Previously the track MiniArt tell that this track are workable because they have some tiny bolts and they could be clicked together, but these bolts are too tiny and too fragile. The tracks don't works fine, so it is safer to glue them together, in my opinion. The last two sprues from this kit, the AG, the clear parts. As you can see, there are two sprues like this, and it contains the periscopes, the front of the headlight, and some other minor parts. And the next part of this kit, the PE sheet. As you can see, it isn't too big, but it is fine. I am not a huge fan of PE parts, to be honest. It contains the mesh for the engine grille, some straps, details for the fenders, some handle grabs, and other small parts. They are rather good. I built the MiniArt SU-85 where the P was almost the same or the same, and they are very well, not too thick, not too thin, just fine. And the decal sheet, as you see, it's rather big. There is mostly the German Balkenkreuz and some numbers, then some division marks, and the flag, but without the swastik, so you need to paint them on this decal or just made yourself if you choose the paint scheme with this flag. They are rather good. The printing quality is fine, and I think working with them will be nothing hard to do. And the last sprue in this kit, there are a set of figures. There are 5 figures. They are previously released as separate set, so you can buy them separately if you want. I'm not the specialist on the figures, but in my opinion they are rather good. The details on the clothes are fine. They are well made, and the faces are also fine. As you see, almost all figures has two heads in option, with helmets and without. It is a nice addition, and it allows you to build some small vignette or small base for the kit with this figure without buying the set separately. Let's conclude. This is rather complex but well detailed kit. It allows to build the really well detailed kit straight from the box, so you don't need to buy some aftermarkets to build a good kit. You can do it, just build the parts from this box. Also the crew is a nice addition. What's more, the molding quality and the details are really nice. So what's more, I think it is really good choice.